Welcome to Sunday Baseball on Fox Sports Arizona.
We're the Hawatuki Teal D-backs.
Today the Diamondbacks will take on the Cubs.
Go D-backs!
A long time ago, in a Comic-Con far, far away, pitcher turned Jedi Padawan Josh Colmenter vanquished his opponents in a memorable adventure. Today, the Diamondbacks honor their galactic hero with a bobblehead. The Diamondbacks and Cubs, baseball's lovable Ewoks, meet on this desert planet. Today, like Han Solo in the cantina, Colmenter will shoot first. Then it's Arizona's most famous Jedi Knight, Paul Goldschmidt, bringing his Skywalker-esque skills to the plate. Star Wars starts right now. May the Force be with you.
Chase Field, it's Star Wars Day here at the ballpark. On Josh Colmenter Bobblehead Day, may the Force be with you. Colmenter will be on the mound with a broom in hand as the D-backs go for the three-game sweep of the Chicago Cubs here at Chase Field. It's Arizona Diamondbacks Sunday Baseball. It's brought to you by Sanderson Ford. Good afternoon from here at Chase Field. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthume, Bob Brenly along the way. It's Star Wars Day here at Chase Field, and we are embracing the theme as the Diamondbacks, Bob, hopefully the Force will be with them today. They go for the three-game sweep of the Cubs, and on the mound, on his bobblehead day, it's that Jedi Knight, Josh Colmenter.
I just love it when a plan comes together. Josh Colmenter taking the mound today. You just hope he doesn't put too much pressure on himself pitching in front of his people here today at the ballpark.
Jake Arrieta on the mound for the Cubs. He has flirted with a pair of no-hitters this year. He's had an outstanding season, 5-1, a 1.95 ERA. And Colmenter for the D-backs. Boy, it's hot in these outfits, so let's get this game started. The Force is strong in this one. The Stars have been out in this series so far. But today it's Star Wars Day at the ballpark, and the D-backs are looking at a three-game sweep. First pitch coming up.
Josh Colmenter bobblehead day here at Chase Field as the Diamondbacks go for the 3-game sweep of the Chicago Cubs. Diamondbacks fans on the field as part of our Subway Kids Take the Field of the Players promotion. You can sign up at Subway if you'd like to take part. Right now, let's pause to honor America. Here is the voice of Chase Field, Mr. Chuck Drago.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise and please remove your hats. Please direct your attention to the field as we honor the United States of America and pay tribute to our veterans, active duty, and retired men and women of our armed services. Presenting our nation's colors today are the officers of the Superstition Mountain Chapter of the Military Officers Association of America, and assisted by all 10 Arizona chapters under the leadership of Marine Captain George Megan. The Arizona Diamondbacks and the Chicago Cubs invite you to join in the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner, performed by Kimberly Gunn.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets a-red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Diamondbacks, D-backs going for the sweep this afternoon, and your Arizona Ford starting pitcher for Arizona is Josh Colmenter, his 17th start. A rare opportunity for a pitcher to get a start on his own bobblehead day, and this one comes on Star Wars Day here at Chase Field.
It'll be interesting to have a bobblehead because you see all the other guys, and then I don't know if bobblehead equates to finally making it, but I guess I've arrived on the scene now, and so it'll be fun just to see. I'm sure there's going to be some stormtroopers rolling around the place and see who dresses up.
A lot of people have dressed up here, BB, including the broadcasters.
Yeah, you know, we got in the spirit of the afternoon here. Josh Colementer's always in the spirit of the day. You see his numbers this season. He's pitched well against the Cubs in his career to the tune of a 1.26 ERA. A lot of those coming out of the bullpen.
And Josh working on 10 days rest. He was outstanding in his last start. That was back on July 9th here at Chase Field. Just 1 run in 7 innings against the Marlins. Ball 1 to Chris Coghlan, and we're underway here on a Sunday afternoon in downtown Phoenix. Coghlan back in the starting lineup for the Cubs. And in left field, Martin Prado will in on the grass at third to protect against the bunt. It's 1-1. Chris Coghlan double switched into the ball game about midway through last night. Had a walk but did not get a base hit, so that snapped a 5-game hitting streak. He's in there at 273. And it's always important for Josh Colementer to get out clean in the first inning. This year, Colementer has given up 15 runs and 20 hits in the first inning of games, more than in any other inning over the course of a ball game. And when Josh pitches well in the first, he generally establishes a quick rhythm, settles in nicely, and is very effective. So we'll keep an eye out for that here. Slow roller to Didi Gregorius. One away, good starts. Let's take a look at our Tire Pro starting lineup for the Cubbies.
We'll see Chris Coghlan at the top already. Arismendi Alcantara batting second. Anthony Rizzo batting third. Starlin Castro in the cleanup spot. Leads all major league shortstops since 2011 with 658 hits. He'll be followed by Luis Valbuena, Ryan Sweeney, Nate Shearholtz, John Baker doing the catching today, and right-hander Jake Arrieta on the mound for the Cubs.
It's been a tough road for Rick Renteria's Cubs. Just 2 wins in their last 12 games. They've lost 4 in a row and are in danger of getting swept here over the weekend at Chase Field. There is Mendy Alcantara. He does not have a hit in this series. He struck out 3 times in last night's ball game at .290 on the year. But he stole 2 bases Friday night after reaching on a walk. And we've seen him at second base Friday. In center field last night. He's back in there at second base this afternoon. This is popped up. First base side. Aaron Hill sneak it in behind Paul Goldschmidt, but Goldie's there. 2 up, 2 down. This is how the Diamondbacks look defensively behind Josh Colementer.
We're going to have David Peralta in left field this afternoon. Ender Inciarte in center. Gerardo Parra back in the lineup in right field this afternoon. Martin Prado, Didi Gregorius on the left side of the infield, while Aaron Hill and Paul Goldschmidt will man the right side. Miguel Montero behind the plate for right-hander Josh Colementer.
So Mark Trumbo getting the day off today. David Peralta back in there and in left field. Kirk Gibson not wanting to have Mark Trumbo do too much running around right out of the gate back from that foot injury, so he will rest at least as a starter.
Yeah, so far he's looked very good running the bases. We documented that in the ball game last night. Got down that first base line in a hurry, showed no signs of a limp, but you definitely want to be careful.
And be careful with big Anthony Rizzo, second in the National League in home runs. 1 behind Giancarlo Stanton. Is 6th in the league in OPS. Off the fish, a little flare into right center. A 2-out hit for Rizzo.
Time to take a look at our Valley Honda keys to the game, and Star Wars, Star Trek, whatever we got going here this afternoon. Trust the Force.
That's a cardinal sin. You realize that?
I know. And one small step on this day in history. What did I miss?
The Star Wars people and the Star Trek people, they get very upset if you confuse them with one another. That's all. I just want to avoid a PR disaster here right out of the gate with the stars and the things and the trekking and the wars and the whole thing.
Well, I'll leave that to you for the rest of the afternoon. But the one small step refers to the 45th anniversary of Neil Armstrong setting foot on the moon. Maybe Paul Goldschmidt will hit one to the moon today.
Starlin Castro.
Star something.
2-0 to Castro. Just back from his 3rd All-Star game appearance, and he's only 24 years old. And doing very well this year with runners on base.
Issues with his right eye there, trying to get it clear before getting back in the box against Josh Comenter. It helps if you can see the baseball.
Tell Cody Ross. Cody went through that last year with those contact lenses drying out.
Brian McCann, when he was down in Atlanta, had all kinds of issues with his contacts. Now, this game is tough enough to play when you have perfect vision.
2-1 is in the seats along the right field line. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Castro a pair of singles and an RBI last night. His only hits of the series so far. Just can't quite seem to get that eye cleared up.
Probably doesn't have anything to do with all the pine tar and rosin on that batting glove that he's trying to clear his eye with.
If his eyelid sticks shut, we'll know something's up.
Yeah. You've heard me say many times about a pitcher, the key is to stay out of the middle of the plate, and generally we talk about hitting the outside corner and the inside corner, but for Josh Comenter, more often than not, it means throwing above the top of the strike zone and down at the bottom of the strike zone, staying out of the middle, working vertically in the zone.
So he's more of a north-south guy than east-west?
Yeah, a guy in the booth right next door to us doing the Cubs TV, Jim Deshaies, made a living of that, pitching in the Astrodome, throwing high 84-mile-an-hour four-seam fastballs.
In the air right center field, Ender Inciarte. Gerardo Parra comes over. Parra will take it. And Comenter is through to first. He strands the 2-out single on Star Wars Day here at Chase. At Chase Field, their Arizona Ford starting pitcher for the Cubs, Jake Arrieta, a once promising part of the Orioles rotation, now having a breakthrough season with the Cubs at the age of 28, unbeaten in his last 8 starts after overcoming an up-and-down beginning to his career in Baltimore and some shoulder problems this spring. He has been excellent lately. Turner Ward is the Diamondbacks hitting coach.
He's got 5 pitches. He got all the pitches. He also throws a cutter. He's a guy, a strike thrower, so he can, when a pitcher's able to, use multiple pitches in the strike zone, usually they can have success here.
Well, we'd like to tell you about WHIP on these broadcasts, a great stat to measure how many base runners a pitcher allows, walks and hits per innings pitched. And you see Arrieta's is barely 1. That would put him 7th best in the league, ahead of names like Hudson, Loge, Hamels, Greinke. That's how well Jake Arrieta has pitched this year.
Oh, he's been undoubtedly the ace of this Cubs staff. See his last outing on the 11th, a no decision against the Atlanta Braves. And Turner Ward mentioned that 5-pitch mix that he has. He'll throw a 2-seam sinking fastball. Occasionally he gets misidentified as throwing a cutter. But talking to Chris Bosio, the Cubs pitching coach, he said it's a slider that he just overthrows at times. Occasionally will hit 90 with that hard slider that looks like a cut fastball. Really has good stuff and has a good idea of how to use it.
And you see those numbers, last 7 starts, a 1.30 ERA, unbeaten in that span, and he throws strike 1 to Ender Inciarte, who leads it off for the Diamondbacks.
No question it was a group effort last night for the Diamondbacks in beating the Cubs, but the guys at the top of the order really did an outstanding job, as that one's fouled away on a bunt attempt. Looked like he fouled it off his own leg. Yeah, last night Ender Inciarte, Aaron Hill, Paul Goldschmidt, the 1, 2, and 3 hitters in the lineup, were combined with 6 hits, 4 of them for extra bases. They scored 7 of the 9 runs and drew 3 base on balls. Exactly what you like to see from the guys at the top of the order, and yeah, fouled it off that back foot.
And Ender is not recovering from this as quickly as you'd like to see. He's taking a long time to walk this off and is actually not doing a whole lot of walking here. And now Ryan DePanfilo, the assistant trainer, will come out and have a look. We have a moment here. Let's take a look at our Tire Pros starting lineup for Kirk Gibson's D-backs.
Ender Inciarte at the top. Hopefully he'll be okay. David Peralta hitting .378 this month with 5 extra base hits. Paul Goldschmidt in his customary 3 spot. Miguel Montero cleaning up today, followed by Aaron Hill, Gerardo Parra, Martin Prado, Didi Gregorius in there at shortstop today, and right-hander Josh Colmenter on the mound.
And it looks like Ender is good to go here, down 0-2 against Jake Arrieta. Bob mentioned how well the top of the order did last night. Ender back in the leadoff spot. He doubled, scored twice, and struck out 3 times, leading off last night. Another one in the dirt from Arrieta, and it's 2-2. Arrieta this year has twice flirted with no-hitters. In fact, just last month, June 24th, he opened with 6 perfect innings against the Reds. And then in his next start, he lost a no-hitter with 2 outs in the 8th inning at Fenway Park. And he admitted he got some goosebumps there, so he has been outstanding lately. This is bounced over the mound. Starlin Castro charges and throws out Inciarte. 1 away. A look now at the Cubs defensively behind their right-hander.
We'll have an outfield of Chris Coughlin, Ryan Sweeney, and Nate Shearholtz this afternoon. Luis Valbuena at third base. Starlin Castro and Arismendi Alcantara make up the double play combo up the middle. Anthony Rizzo over at first base again. John Baker doing the catching today for right-hander Jake Arrieta.
Anthony Rizzo will be a handful. He's got 4 hits in the series, 2 of them home runs on Friday. David Peralta back in the lineup for the Diamondbacks after getting the night off last night against the left-hander Travis Wood. Peralta hitting .326 on the year. That's second best among all major league rookies, behind only the Mets' Eric Campbell. And he's down quickly, 0-2. To Sherwater granting time there. Sherwater is our plate umpire this afternoon. 0-2 to Peralta. Two down. Here's Goldie.
Going up the ladder. That pitch was intended to be on the outside corner and low, but he throws it high over the heart of the plate to get the swinging strike from Peralta. Something to keep an eye on for Arrieta if he's missing his spots. He'll make some mistakes over the middle of the plate.
You see the Han Solo picture for Goldie. All the Diamondback players today getting Star Wars likenesses on the DBTV board here at Chase Field. There's strike 1 from Arrieta. Nice hair.
Apparently they do have blow dryers in space.
You got to get one of those converters for the outlet. So far Arrieta 10 pitches, 8 for strikes. He's not messing around out there.
Yeah, 0-2 on all 3 hitters he's faced so far.
Goldie down the right field line, but that one is on a play. Paul Goldschmidt leading the major leagues in doubles. and now tied with Giancarlo Stanton for the league lead in RBIs. And what a night last night. Reached base safely in all 5 plate appearances. He was a triple shy of the cycle. He has homered in each game of the series so far. 1-2 as he lays off.
There he had a kind of an unusual delivery. Doesn't really look like a full windup. He starts kind of sideways on the rubber, much like a stretch position, just to try to simplify things. We've used that word a lot this year. A lot of guys trying to simplify their delivery, simplify their approach at the plate.
Well, we always hear about both hitters and pitchers talk about, oh, this guy's got a lot of moving parts, and that's when things tend to get out of sync.
The more moving parts, the better chance that one of those moving parts is going to be off time, and that ruins everything. Definitely has good stuff just from what we've seen already in this first inning. A good 12-6 curveball. We've seen one of those sliders at 90 miles per hour. This is the big curveball. We've seen some tailing, sinking action on a fastball in the mid-90s.
And he gets 2 strikeouts in the inning. He gets Peralta and then Goldie. No score through 1 on Josh Colmentor bobblehead day at Chase Field. Brought to you in part by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Jack in the Box. If the D-backs hit a home run today, score a free Jumbo Jack tomorrow with a purchase of a large drink. From a galaxy far, far away, it's Diamondbacks baseball. Josh Colmentor on the mound. He will face Luis Valbuena, Ryan Sweeney, and Nate Scherholz, 5, 6, and 7 in the Cubs' second, as the Diamondbacks go for the sweep on Star Wars Day. Valbuena, a double and a run scored Friday in the series opener. He did not play last night. 250 on the year and 5 homers. A good start so far for Josh Colmentor. 2 starts ago, Josh had his roughest outing of the year. That was when he was hit hard by the Braves in Atlanta on the 4th of July. Gave up 5 runs on 11 hits in 6 innings. And into that start, he ran into immediate trouble. And trying to avoid that pitfall here. So far, so good. Little flare into left. Long run. Here comes Peralta. They'll get there for the first outs.
Take a look at our Geico quote of the game. I like this one. Do or do not. There is no try, said Yoda.
I was hoping for a Yoda voice or something.
I don't know a Yoda voice.
I figured that out.
Yoda spelled backwards is Adoy. That's the best I can do.
We've got some sand people that would like to talk to you. Ryan Sweeney. Ryan Sweeney, an RBI single in Friday's series opener, is another guy that did not play last night against left-hander Wade Miley.
Yeah, in the ball game last night, Rick Renteria had an entirely left-handed hitting bench. 5 players, all left-handed hitters. Today, he's got 5 right-handed hitters available off the bench. Kind of limits what you can do strategically late in a ball game if the opposing manager starts to play matchups, and well, you've got a bunch of righties loaded up on the bench.
You like to mix it up a little bit, not, well, okay, there's a left-handed starter, so let's get all our righties in today, or vice versa.
Yeah, there may be the occasional matchup where it calls for it. If a guy just absolutely cannot get lefties out or can't get righties out, you want to load up against a guy like that. But in general, you like to see a little bit of balance, not only in your lineup, but on your bench. As Sweeney can't hold up, goes down on strikes.
First strikeout for Josh Colmenter.
Right fielder, number 19.
Jim Joyce, the crew chief, down at third, says yes, indeed. So 2 down. And here's Nate Scherholtz getting the start after a couple of pinch hit appearances in this series. He's at 202 on the year with 5 homers. And it's been slow going for Nate Scherholtz lately. He is 2 for his last 22 up there. Bounced foul right by Eric Hinsky at first.
As Josh makes his way back to the mound, we'd like to send get well wishes to John Marks, friend of the Diamondbacks family, big D-backs fan. He's watching the game today at the Mayo Clinic. John, hope you get well soon. Get back out here to the ballpark.
We'll see you down here, John. 1 ball and 1 strike to Nate Scherholtz. Scherholtz since June 1st hitting barely 190. It's been a very disappointing season offensively for him. He hit 21 home runs last year, but may have played his way out of the mix in Chicago after a nice season last year. 2-2 now. He has started 70 games. He just has not hit.
Obviously spent a lot of his time sitting on the bench working on that tape job on the handle of his bat. That looks very creative.
Decorative. Goes the other way, but right to Prado at third, and it's a 1-2-3 second for Josh Colmenter. No score here at Chase Field. Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you in part by Chaz Roberts Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Choose Chaz. And by Grand Canyon University. Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Register now at gcu.edu. Our camera stationed on Tatooine, as Bob knows, the home planet of Luke Skywalker. Watch out for Boba Fett and the gang after they blew up Jabba Hutt's palace. I might as well be speaking Chinese to you, right?
Really.
I think you're just grumpy because you had to wear that Chewbacca costume in the open.
It's hot. Are you kidding me?
That's why I picked the Stormtrooper one.
Good choice.
Miguel Montero, who is up there on the DBTV board looking like an Ewok, will lead off the second here on Star Wars Day. And the shift is on for Miggy.
Now, the closest I come to Star Wars and any knowledge whatsoever of what it's all about is that particular scene right there. Didn't they race some kind of space motorcycles through the
speeders? They were, I believe they were called speeders.
I actually know where that was filmed in Northern California. The friend of a friend of a friend owned a property right next to the property where they filmed those scenes through the redwood trees. So that's my connection.
They will embrace the theme. Yeah, it's hot in those things. Take it from me. 1-1 to Miggy. Miguel Montero now with 55 RBIs after his big night last night. And that is 13 more than he had all of last season. In fact, it's good for 8th best in the National League.
Yeah, the Cubs embracing the overshift on the infield. One of the very first teams to really get on board with that, along with the Tampa Bay Rays and the Anaheim Angels, or the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, California,
California,
yeah,
Orange
all
County
that stuff. Yeah.
1-2. And of course, the last time, Bob, you'll remember they tried this. This happened.
Yeah.
Although the shift they've put on today is even more drastic than the one we're seeing here. You've got Castro kind of almost shading second base, and Valbuena, the third baseman, way over on the first base side of second.
Yeah, I mean, there's a base hit there to be had. Maybe not now in the full count. With 2 strikes, you don't want to risk fouling it off and ending up as a strikeout victim. But yeah, something to keep in mind for Miggy. I mean, he knows it's a weapon, especially leading off an inning.
He gets his 3rd strikeout, Arrieta. 1 away in the second. He has now struck out Peralta, Goldschmidt, and Montero in order.
Second baseman,
Boy, that's a hard slider. That one at 90 miles an hour. You can see why some scouts occasionally misidentify it as a cutter. He throws it so hard.
And there'll be a lot of discussion. Right now, there is assistant hitting coach Henry Blanco with Miguel Montero. Aaron Hill comes back into their normal defensive positions as Arrieta once again throws strike 1. Aaron at 244, 7 homers. He was on base 3 times last night, a walk, a single, and a double. He scored twice.
Hey fans, when the D-backs win, you win at Papa John's. The day after every Diamondbacks win, you get 50% off your regular menu price online order at Papa John's. Enter promo code DBACKS50 at papajohns.com.
Jake Arrieta, when he's got command, and he certainly looks to have command today, he can be extremely effective. His off-speed stuff is very good. He's pitched very well at times this year and put in a lot of work coming off an injury this spring. And it was a slow start to the year. Base hit. Aaron Hill shoots that one into right. He's got a 1-out single.
Hill doesn't go the opposite way a lot, but got a fastball down and out over the plate that time. Dropped the bat head on it, takes that line drive down into the right field corner for the first Diamondbacks hit of the game. Now, talking about Arrieta, he's had 13 starts before today, and in 9 of the 13 starts he allowed 0 or 1 run. That's getting it done.
Well, he says that now that he's healthy and with his advanced development, in his words, the sky is the limit. He thinks he can be a guy this team can rely on for a long time. And so far he's backed that up. Gerardo Parra. That's tough. He looks like Yoda. Pull the ball, you will. About the best I can do. 254, 5 home runs. Arrieta's out in front 0-2. He was working out this winter when he developed a sore shoulder, wound up missing all of spring training and the first month of this season as well with shoulder stiffness. Didn't make his first start this year until May the 3rd, and that's why he's thrown under 80 innings going into the ball game today. Since he's come back, he has been outstanding. One ball and 2 strikes. Gerardo Parra has it in 3 straight, including an RBI single last night. In fact, he's had RBIs now in 3 consecutive games. Parra said last weekend still feels like the second half of the season will be great for him, and maybe after 1 or 2 games getting a couple of base hits he'll feel better, and we may have already seen that here this weekend. As he admitted, he was overthinking things up there, and he really kind of was grinding his way to the close of the first half of the year.
That bat waggle has gotten a little more pronounced as we move through the first half of the season, approaching the All-Star break. And G was one of those guys that we talked about that was trying to simplify things at the plate, and it looks like maybe he's developing a bad habit with that bat waggle. If you get that waggle in the wrong place at the wrong time as that pitcher's delivering the ball, it's going to be tough to get the bat into the hitting zone. It's a little tardy on that high fastball.
It's almost like a pendulum, so if it's too far down near the shoulder or up.
Either way, yeah, you know, there's a very fine line with that bat waggle, and he continued to wiggle it even as Arrieta was striding toward home plate. Very tough to get your timing exactly perfect with that much movement with your hands and the bat. It's not uncommon for a guy to have some movement back there, but once the pitcher's ready to deliver the ball, usually they're in that hitting position. They've got the bat where they want it, ready to start it if the pitch is in the strike zone.
We've talked about some hitters, and we've noted how quiet they are. Everything is still, hands and head and bat. This seems to be the opposite approach.
And I don't recall the early part of the season he had that much bat waggle. I could be wrong, but it just looks like it's a little more excessive than we saw earlier in the season.
A lot of bouncing up there too. Lays off that one. It's even 2-2. Well, Kirk Gibson says sometimes Parra's approach at the plate can get a little too centered on going the other way, hitting to left field. And Gibby says this is a guy who has the ability to pull the ball, put it into the gap, and impact the baseball. Parra, after all, did hit 43 doubles last season. Here goes Aaron Hill. Parra strikes out. Aaron Hill advances 90 feet. 2 down. It's now 4 strikeouts already for Jake Arrieta.
Now batting, third baseman, Martin.
Jump over there by Aaron Hill. Baker just couldn't hang on to the ball back there. Might have been distracted by the check swing by Gerardo Parra. Just couldn't come up with it cleanly. So Aaron Hill moves into scoring position with 2 outs for Martin Prado.
Aaron Hill's second stolen base of the year. Prado 0 for 4 last night. He's in there at 274 on the year. Dropped right back to the mound. Marietta strands the 1-out single. We are through 2 at Chase Field. No score on Star Wars Day.
Great job. I think you congratulations, Padawan.
Ballpark. Diamondbacks going for a 3-game sweep of the Cubs, set for the 3rd inning, and that means it's time for our Fox Sports Arizona Sanderson Ford Kidcaster. And here is Kalena Leahy from Ahwatukee. How you doing?
Good, thank you.
I just heard you on the PO over there with Chuck Drago. It sounded great.
Thank you.
Was that fun?
It was a lot of fun.
Now, why did you want to be a Sanderson Ford Kidcaster?
I thought it'd be really fun to go to different places of the ballpark that I'd never seen before and see like the guys who are kind of behind the scenes.
That's us. we're way behind the scenes.
Way behind.
Deep undercover. So you're getting the grand tour today, huh?
Uh-huh.
Well, that's awesome.
And I see on your bio that Cody Ross is your favorite player, and you had a chance to interview him before the game. How was that?
That was really fun.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a very personable guy.
He is.
What'd you ask him? Anything good?
I asked him, well, he's been with a lot of teams, and I realized that number 7 is the only number that he's had twice.
Wow, look at that.
How about that?
That's very good. What was the reason for that, did he say?
Well, he said that his dad was always number 12. So I think in Florida, he said he couldn't have the number 12. Somebody had that. Mm-hmm. So he decided to go up to 13. And then at the next team, they also had a guy with 12. So he decided to go down to 7, which was the last team he played for. So then he just kept 7 for the Diamondbacks too.
It's a lot of math.
It is a lot of math. How about, I mean, she does better research than our highly unreliable staff up here in the booth.
Ron Baker bounces out to Goldie. One away here in the 3rd. 5 in a row now retired by Josh Colmenter. Kalena Leahy from Ahwatukee, a microbiologist. That's big time. Why microbiology? First of all, what is microbiology?
Well, microbiology is just the study of small living things.
Okay.
And I want to get into it because I had my first biology class this year.
Yeah.
And I really liked it. So I was like, I want to be in biology, but you have to be a little bit specific. You can't just say, like, you want to be in biology. So I want to go into microbiology.
Now, your mom, Karen, and your dad, Jesse, I bet they're thrilled to hear this, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's tremendous. She likes school. She likes biology, BB. We could never have hung out with you.
Hey, forget all that stuff. Her favorite food is pizza,
well,
so you know that
now
we're
I know
on the
why
same page.
Now I know why she's up here. Jake Arrieta. Bob is a big pizza connoisseur.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
High five.
There you go.
Now I see favorite team in any sport other than the D-backs, Pittsburgh Steelers. That seems a little bit random. What happened there, John?
I remember I first liked them. I was watching a Cardinals and Steelers game, and then I realized like how awesome the Steelers are. I mean, they've won so many Super Bowls, and I mean they have some great players. And I was just like, I really like this team.
So you're in, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Did you notice they only have the sticker on one side of the helmet? That didn't bother you at all?
No.
Right. That's always kind of driven me a little nuts.
Like a little OCD kind of thing?
Yeah, well, I got a lot of issues. Jake Arrieta strikes out. Second strikeout for Coleman. Now, on the bio we get, Kalena, it says your favorite TV show is Friends. Now, that... You're just a young girl. That seems a little before your time. You're watching reruns?
I've seen like
every show.
Every show like 5 times.
Joey and all those guys. Phoebe.
Yeah.
Bob, I know you watch that. This might as well be like Star Wars for you, right?
All over again. Are you a Star Wars fan?
I've never actually seen a Star Wars movie from beginning to end.
High five again.
It's another thing you and Bob have in common. You'll be eating pizza and not watching Star Wars. So how often are you at the D-backs games, or do you watch on TV? Do you get down here a lot?
We have season tickets.
Oh, nice. Beautiful.
So we go to almost all the games. There's only been like maybe 2 games that we've missed.
Is that so you don't have to watch us on TV?
Oh, no.
Chris Coughlin.
They locked her up there for a minute.
Oh, it's always better to be at the ballpark anyway, right?
Yeah.
That's great that you get down here that often. Now, what's your favorite food? I know you love pizza. How's the pizza here in the ballpark?
It's really good. It's so doughy, and I really like doughy pizza. Not like the thin crust.
There you go. Any kind's good
I
with
like
him.
it all, yeah.
Yeah. Even you can't really make bad pizza.
Chris Coughlin pulls that one fair down the right field line and heads for second. Paro plays it off the Karen. And Chris Coughlin is in there with his 12th double. It ends a stretch of 6 in a row, retired by Josh Coleman. What's your analysis of the D-backs so far this year?
Like how they've been doing?
Yeah, what do you when you see the D-backs? You've watched all the games. You guys are here all the time. What are your opinions?
Well, at first they were struggling a little bit, but I knew they were going to pick it up, and they did, and they're doing really well.
Got a chance to sweep today.
Yeah.
Nice. I have to get out of this inning first. Arizmendi Alcantara popped up to Goldie his first time. Do you want to do a play here? Are you feeling up to that? A little
sure.
play-by-play?
Sure.
Naturally, I gave you Arizmendi Alcantara. We still haven't figured out how to say it yet, so I figured you could probably save us.
Arizmendi Alcantara.
See, there you go. Look at this. Natural.
I remember thinking like that A is silent. The third one.
We just call him AA.
A lot of vowels. Actually, only one. But a whole bunch of times. This is like going to school up here. Microbiology, math, spelling.
Do you want me to quiz you guys?
Oh. That could get ugly. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Coleman now 45 pitches, 32 for strikes. And on a nice roll here, but trying to strand Coughlin at second with 2 outs.
Well, we know the Diamondbacks are your favorite team. We know the Steelers are your favorite non-baseball team. Which baseball team do you dislike the most?
Dodgers.
Correct.
Ah, very nice.
Correct answer. Gold star, Mom.
Wow.
Easiest question ever.
Another high five. All right.
I went to the baseball camp with Wade Miley Like
he nice. That was not too long ago, right?
Yeah, and we were talking about the Dodgers, and then Yasiel Puig came up, and he was like, "You should get like a bar of soap in your mouth for saying his name."
Well, you always like to respect the good players, and Puig is a very talented player, and you always want to acknowledge that. But on the other hand, it's okay not to like them.
Yeah, but he is a good player, and I do respect him for that.
Having said that, 2-2. Just does stay alive.
Big crowd here today. What a day to be at the ballpark, be in the booth, on the PA. You're all over the place today.
Now, do you go to radio next?
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Oh. Make sure you give the governor and Tom Candiotti a hard time.
I'll try my best.
That's what we do. Yeah, ask Greg Schulte about microbiology. Now, when you go over there's a guy, Leo Gilmartin. Just be nice to him, because he's got a lot of power.
Is he your boss?
He's everybody's boss. He runs the show over here. No, he oversees the radio side of things. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Arizmendi Alcantara. Looks at strike 3. Third strikeout for Josh Colmenter. Helena Leahy, outstanding job, young lady. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
It was great to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too.
One more high five. All right.
Sports Arizona is brought to you in part by Lone Butte Casino. You're in for more winning moments at Lone Butte Casino. And by Cox Communications. Bundle and save with Cox.
Live from Tatooine, it's Diamondback baseball. Star Wars Day here at the ballpark. Josh Colmenter bobbleheads handed out to all those fans who purchased tickets for today's game through the special Star Wars package at dbacks.com. And so they're collecting the Josh Colmenter Jedi bobblehead. And Colmenter so far has given up 2 hits, 3 scoreless innings, 3 strikeouts. And Didi Gregorius leads off the 3rd against Jake Arrieta. What's with that hair?
Oh, no.
It's Lando Calrissian. You have no idea who Lando Calrissian is.
No,
it's all right.
Didn't he play shortstop for the Astros?
With Cesar Cedeno and Enos Cabell. Gregorius at 241. Couple of RBI singles here Friday night, including the hit that gave the D-backs the lead for good. That was in the 6th inning. Well, hit the other way. Chris Coghlan has room in front of the wall and tracks it down. Well, fans, it's that time again. Tweet us your fan photo using the hashtag AZFanPhoto with the hashtag and the Twitter and the whole thing. For your chance to have your fan photo shown in our game broadcast coming up a little later, brought to you by AT&T. And Kelly Stinnett is on the clock.
On the hot seat today, Grinder. Former D-back Kelly Stinnett will help us out with the AT&T photo today.
He's our guest analyst today. The Cavalcade of Stars continues. He's on the pregame show with Cindy Brunson. He'll be in here in the 7th inning on the postgame show as well. Josh Colmenter.
We saw Josh swinging the lightsaber when he was at the Comic-Con.
Nice use of the term lightsaber. Yeah. He's got the full Chewbacca going up there.
They're afraid of him. One look at that picture on the scoreboard, and Jake Arrieta can't come close to the strike zone.
Yeah, Arrieta was a strike throwing machine. But he's behind 3-0 on the pitch, and all the Diamondback players getting a good laugh at the Chewbacca likeness of Colmenter up there on the big board. 3-0 is in there for a strike. And of course, Coley, he's got that beard going. He's got the chewy look, so I guess that's apropos.
How about that?
Arrieta walks the pitcher with 1 out in the 3rd.
6 first pitch strikes, 4-0-2 counts in the first 2 innings, but 2-0 to both hitters in this half of the inning. Didi Gregorius with good solid contact to the opposite field. Chase Coghlan all the way to the warning track, and now Josh Colmenter draws a walk.
Let's go downstairs to Brad.
That's right. Dave McKay headed back to Cooperstown next weekend to see his good friend Tony La Russa inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. In his absence, Henry Blanco will man first base coaching duties for the D-backs, but talking to Dave the other day, he's really thrilled. He was on the staff at St. Louis and also Oakland with Tony La Russa. Certainly well deserved, and Dave carries a lot of those same tendencies and traditions that Tony had. So good stuff next weekend back in Cooperstown.
Yeah, that's always an amazing place to be any time of year, but especially that last weekend in July when they have the induction ceremonies, and the D-backs' new chief baseball officer will be inducted into Cooperstown. Tony was in Oakland last night. They had a reunion of some of those great Bash Brothers A's teams, and Tony La Russa on hand for that at the Oakland Coliseum.
Henry Blanco, a logical fill-in at first base for Dave McKay, since Henry had 6 stolen bases in 16 years of his career.
Got a lot of insight. 1-1 to Ender Inciarte, who grounded out his first time. There he is. Bob suddenly just can't find it here.
Occasionally that happens. It comes and it goes. I tell you, through the first couple innings of this game, you just didn't feel like it was going to be much of a day for the D-backs offense, but now struggling to find that strike zone, getting himself into some favorable hitters counts. And you heard Turner Ward talk about it before the ball game. Hit the mistakes. Get him in a situation where he has to throw strikes and be ready to hit it.
2-1 to Inciarte is in there. It's 2-2. Jake Arrieta was a 10-game winner in 2011 with Baltimore. Made 22 starts before he had to be shut down in August that year with elbow problems. He was the Orioles opening day starter in 2012, but just didn't pitch well that year. He was 3-9 before he was sent to the minors in early July. Came back in September, but worked only in relief. He strikes out Inciarte. 5 strikeouts now for Jake Arrieta.
Left field, David Peralta.
Our top tier player of the game brought to you by Arco, David Peralta.
16 of his 37 games have been multi-hit games. Chris Owens right there as well.
And Peralta had another 2-hit night Friday night. He struck out his first time up against Arrieta this afternoon. He's at 324 right now. Peralta's batting average dipped to its lowest mark of the year back on June 28th. That was 286, but since then he's hit better than 400. Swing and a miss there, 1-1. So since the end of June, he has raised his average for the year by 40 points. That one just dropped right off the table.
Yeah, that's an 88-mile-an-hour slider. You can see why Arrieta toyed with a perfect game in one case and a no-hitter in his next start. If he's commanding all those pitches, I mean, he has unlimited ways to go about getting hitters out depending on their strengths and weaknesses. He can sink it. He can throw that hard slider, make it look like a cutter. We've seen the big over-the-top curveball. I haven't seen much in the way of an off-speed pitch as far as a changeup, but he does have one.
That one gets behind Baker, and Coleman moves up to second. Now 50 pitches for Jake Arrieta, 30 for strikes.
It's been ruled a wild pitch. Ball did not hit in the dirt, just a little extra movement there for John Baker. Tipped off the webbing of his glove, went all the way to the backstop, moving Josh Coleman into scoring position.
He strikes out Peralta for the second time today. Now 6 strikeouts for Arrieta. And he's out of the third. We are through 3, no score. In for 3 starting tomorrow. And how about this? Justin Verlander and Vidal Nuno. So JV versus El Nuno, which of course is Spanish for the Nuno. We'll have that for you on Fox Sports Arizona. Don't forget, fans, come out to Chase Field tomorrow through Wednesday. D-backs take on the Tigers. Get the most for your money. Make it a D-back value pack. That includes a bleacher ticket, a hot dog, or a Subway sandwich, a regular Pepsi, and a cookie, all for only $21. For tickets, visit dbacks.com/value. That's a pretty good deal. $21. You can come out here and watch Justin Verlander and Miguel Cabrera and Victor Martinez and on and on. That's a tremendous deal, and we'll see you out here hopefully tomorrow and the rest of this week. Today it's Star Wars Day. What was your first clue? Anthony Rizzo leads off the fourth. Pretty well pitched ball game so far. Jake Arrieta has struck out 6 Diamondbacks. He's given up only 1 hit. Josh Colementor has 3 strikeouts. He's allowed only 2 hits. But you got to be careful here with Anthony Rizzo. We found out on Friday exactly why.
He's a guy that's developed into one of the premier power hitters in the game. Early in his career, he was content to take his base hits, shoot the ball to the opposite field, just try to be a line drive hitter. But as his career has progressed, he picks his spots, gets himself in those good fastball counts, and much like Goldie, when he gets one in the hitting zone, he puts a good pass on it.
Now one behind Giancarlo Stanton. It's funny with Stanton, Bob, ever since the home run derby, that seems to have kind of fixed his swing a bit. He's been on something of a home run tear. Usually that screws guys up. He's hit some rockets lately. 0-2 misses there. Well, Colementor will have to be careful here with Rizzo. 15 of those 22 homers for Rizzo have come against right-hand pitchers. And shoots this one the other way, but right to Peralta.
Shortstop, Starlin Castro.
Starlin Castro flying out his first time. Some speculation that with so many young position prospects on their way up in this Cubs system, that Starlin Castro might be moved either at the trade deadline or at the end of the year. But there were reports last week that a trade is not expected out of Chicago for Castro. And in fact, this is a guy who's always been a shortstop. Keep in mind, still only 24. But who could be moved to third base starting next year. Especially with the shortstop prospects, Javier Baez and now Addison Russell in their system. Both shortstops ranked in Baseball America's top 15, but Baez, it looks like, will move to second base. And so the question has been, where does that leave this guy?
Well, there was some talk early in his career that Castro might be better served playing in the outfield. He's got great speed, has plenty of throwing arm to play center field, but if you think how his attention kind of wavers at times at shortstop, I'd be afraid to put him in center field. When you're not involved in every play of the ball game, his mind might have a tendency to wander a little bit too much out there in center. Keep him plugged in.
He takes a one-out walk here from Colementor. First walk issued by Josh today.
Hey fans, today's broadcast is on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to the U.S. Armed Forces serving in the 175 countries and aboard ships at sea. They're watching around the world in Germany, Italy, South Korea, and Japan. We welcome you and thank you for your service.
Luis Valbuena. Castro at first after the one-out walk. We mentioned about Starlin Castro and how he sometimes, as a very young player, has a tendency to kind of drift mentally and lose his focus and concentration. The Cubs at one point earlier this year, to make sure that Castro was constantly engaged out there, would talk to him during games, always sort of assign a guy to have a conversation with Castro. Either a coach between innings or a player out there on the field to make sure that he's aware of the situation and he's, you know, kind of locked in. And that seems to have helped. Just to make sure that he's all plugged in out there and fully engaged. Because they are into Castro. Committed big money to him a couple of years ago, 7 years, $60 million. That's after he led the league in hits as a 21-year-old back in 2011.
Check on him over there at first base. He's only stolen 3 bases this year in 5 attempts. His first couple full seasons at the major league level, a 22 steal season followed by a 25 steal season, dropped off to only 9 last year. Just wasn't on base as much last year as he was his first couple of years, but just not quite as aggressive on the bases as he was earlier.
And the batting average had dropped the last several years for Starlin Castro as well. And one of the reasons for Dale Swaim's dismissal as Cubs manager last year was a somewhat, well, not quite confrontational, but less than patient approach perhaps in his handling of Starlin Castro. does seem like a guy that has to be managed.
Yeah, and you know, with the Cubs going through the rebuilding program that they are, they don't have a lot of the veteran players that other teams might have as mentors to young players. You know, a guy to kind of ride herd on them and make sure they're getting their work in, make sure they're doing their homework, preparing for a ball game every day. I mean, Castro and Rizzo really are the veteran players moving forward with this Cubs organization that are going to be the mentors to the other young players.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Luis Valbuena. He strikes out, 4 strikeouts for Colementor, 2 down here in the 4th.
They're going to need mentors or babysitters, one or the other. A lot of young talent working its way through that Cubs minor league system, and figures to be on the scene here rather shortly.
But look at where they rank in terms of Baseball America's prospect list. They have 3 of the top 7. And Chris Bryant is going to be a sensation. Saw a lot of him in the fall league. Saw him hit home runs into the next county a couple of times last fall. And they already have one guy that can do that. Alcantara is sort of the first on that prospect list to break through to this level. And there is Anthony Rizzo. They've talked about him as a leader with all these young guys. He will be the voice in that clubhouse, the veteran presence. Ryan Sweeney. Base hit.
Pitches off the outside corner away, and Sweeney goes out and pulls it back to the right side of the bag at second. Aaron Hill was playing him to pull a little bit, and you see some of the cautious nature of Starlin Castro. Now, granted, he is in scoring position with 2 outs, and you don't want to run into an out at third base, but with his speed, if he goes hard on contact, he should easily be on third base on that ball into center field.
2 on, 2 out for Nate Scherholz. Got a .220 hitter this year with runners in scoring position. The Cubs only 3 for 15 in this series. Scherholz popped up his first time. Nate Scherholz, longtime Giant, traded to Philadelphia at the deadline a couple of years ago in the Hunter Pence deal. Signed a free agent deal with the Cubs last year and did very well there. .251, a career high 21 homers. And he's back this year. But the way he's hit, you can always expect a team that has Nate Scherholz to get a lot of calls about this time of year right before the deadline. But good left-hand bat off the bench, but the way he's hit this year, I don't know.
It takes a little bit of a leap of faith to look at his career numbers and see what he's done in the past. Because you certainly wouldn't be wowed by what you've seen this year from Scherholz.
He has hit just .202 with 5 homers. Two balls and a strike. Good start for Josh Colementor. He's avoided trouble for the most part, but he's got 2 on and 2 out here. And he's behind on Scherholz, 3-1.
We saw Arrieta lose it a little bit in the beginning of the bottom half of that third inning, and Josh Colementor trying to find the strike zone here. 10 of the 16 pitches he's thrown in this inning have been out of the zone.
Could be a little rust, working on 10 days rest. Has not pitched since July 9th. When he was very good, only 1 run in 7 innings against the Marlins. He started prior to that, July 4th in Atlanta. He was roughed up, 11 hits in 6. 3 balls and a strike. Slow roller to short. Here's Didi. And Colementor strands 2. We are still scoreless at Chase Field. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Coming up, Han An Ewok. And, wow. Yeah, Barry Manilow. From the PA system here, Jake Arrieta. So far, he has been a handful, 6 strikeouts.
6 punch-outs, all swinging so far in the game. He's had a few with that fastball up high in the zone. A lot of them with that hard slider in the high 80s, low 90s. Dropped in some good curveballs in this game. He's had it all working so far. 2 strikeouts in each of the first 3 innings.
Looked to be struggling a bit there in the third when with 1 out he walked Josh Colmenter and then wild pitched Colmenter to second. But got out of that last inning by striking out Inciarte and Peralta. And now he'll work to Goldie to lead off the Diamondback fourth. Another big night for Goldie last night. Reached base safely in all 5 plate appearances and was a triple shy of the cycle. Single, double, a home run, a pair of walks. Scored 3 times, drove in 3. What else do you need? He's down 0-2. Goldie having an insane month of July. He's played 14 games so far this month. He's hitting .429. And in those 14 games, he's got 11 walks, 11 runs scored, 12 RBIs, and 13 extra base hits.
Busy. He's been busy.
Pretty good 2 weeks. Called strike 3, says to Sherwater. Goldschmidt strikes out for the 2nd time today. Now 7 and 3 in a row for Jake Arrieta.
Occasionally an umpire will get caught up in the moment as well. When you see a guy on the mound commanding pitches the way Arrieta has in the early going here, you tend to give him the borderline pitches, and that one maybe nipped the outside corner on Goldie.
Miguel Montero, a strikeout victim, his first time up. Mentioned Miggy now with 55 RBIs. It's the 2nd time in the ball game Arrieta has struck out 3 in a row. Montero 55 RBIs. That's 13 more than he had all of last year. And this year it's also more than guys like Ryan Braun, Freddie Freeman, Yasiel Puig, Anthony Rizzo, Troy Tulowitzki. Miguel Montero ahead of all those guys on the RBI list.
I keep coming back to what we talked about, going all the way back to Salt River Fields in spring training. If the Diamondbacks were going to have any chance to have a successful season, they needed a bounce back year from Miguel Montero, and he's held up his end of the deal.
Hits it right into the shift, however. now set down by Jake Arrieta. Montero 0 for 2. Here's Aaron Hill. Aaron Hill has the only D-backs hit today. A 1-out single in the second. And so Aaron has now hit safely in 5 straight games and 7 of his last 8.
John Baker having all kinds of issues back there behind the plate for the Cubs. We've talked about Arrieta and the late movement on the sinker and that hard slider. And a lot of balls clanking off the glove, rolling to the backstop here this afternoon. Boxed it.
Is that a technical term?
Yeah.
Obviously, we know about knuckleballers. That's a whole nother thing. But there are some guys, it's just harder to catch them than other guys.
Oh, yeah, there's no question about it. And it's not always the guys you might expect. It's guys that have late movement. Maybe they're a little inconsistent with their grip. So one sinker will really dive bomb down and into a right-handed hitter. The next one will flatten out and kind of stay on the same plane. They may throw one that actually goes the other direction, actually cuts because the grip on the ball is not consistent. Those guys are always tough to catch.
Little backhand scoop there, 2-1.
A teammate with the San Francisco Giants also pitched for the Cincinnati Reds, Mike Lacoste, big tall right-hander, red-headed guy, and he threw a nasty sinker splitter combination, and that splitter, maybe 8 times out of 10 it would do what you expected it to do, but the other 2 times it could go anywhere. You had no idea where it was going to end up. Made him very tough to hit, made him real tough to catch.
Well, John Baker is in that position here this afternoon. But it's hard to argue with the results either way. Arrieta only 1 hit allowed so far. He's got 7 strikeouts. Left field, Coghlan. That one carried over his head. At second.
19th double of the season for Aaron Hill. We have to figure out a way to get him to the plate more often. Everybody's struggling against Arrieta. Aaron Hill 2 for 2. Clean single into right field and now picks on this slider and hammers it to left over the head of Chris Coghlan, who misjudged that ball badly. You can tell from that swing. I don't think Coghlan thought the ball was going to carry that far. Actually tipped off the webbing of his glove. And Aaron Hill into scoring position with 2 outs.
For Gerardo Parra, who struck out his first time. Chance for the Diamondbacks to score first. Well, that one by Aaron Hill seemed to pick up speed as it went out toward Coghlan. Like you said, he's tough to catch.
I always said there's no such thing as a bad block. That time he used the back of his mitt, his face mask, and managed to keep the ball in front. It's not always pretty. It's not always fundamentally sound, but any way you can block it, keep that ball in front.
To Rizzo at first. Arrieta covers and he strands Hill at second. No score through 4 here at Chase Field. The Fox Sports Arizona Fan Express.
Nice.
Brought to you by Cox Communications and Fry's Food Stores. And the next trip is coming up soon. Just stop by this month's participating Cox Solution Store in Casa Grande and Fry's Food Store in Prescott Valley. And you can enter to win 2 seats on the next Fan Express bus, which is coming to the ballpark August 10th. For more information, visit foxsportsarizona.com. Campaigning for an autographed photo from Goldie there.
Goldie is one of the most accommodating Diamondbacks players. We see him signing autographs before games all the time, working his way down that left field line, the area near the on-deck circle.
He's great about that stuff. All the D-backs players are lucky that way. Popped up, shallow left. E.D. Gregorius wants it. And Baker is retired. 1 pitch, 1 out in the 5th. Well, Josh Colmenter has pitched very well here at Chase Field this year. Be it in any role, starter or reliever. 5-2 at home, a 3.13 ERA. And so far, so good. He has kept the Cubs scoreless through 4 1/3. Jake Arrieta struck out looking his first time. Sky near the right field line. Goldie in foul ground. 2 pitches, 2 outs.
MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 12 years. Join the millions of subscribers. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 devices. Visit dbacks.com for details. 2 pitches, 2 outs. I never like to see a pitcher swing at a first pitch after the #8 hitter made an out on 1 pitch, because now it almost forces Chris Coghlan to take until he gets a strike here.
They're going to put him into a position where he's behind right out of the gate. And so if you're Miguel Montero and Josh Colmenter, you're expecting that, right?
You should set up right down the middle of the plate, 4-seam fastball, jump ahead just like that.
0-1.
I mean, there are some good hitting pitchers in the game, but for the most part, you would rather have your position players have the option of attacking that first pitch. And when the #8 hitter makes a quick out on 1 pitch, I feel that the pitcher should take until he gets at least 1, if not 2 strikes in that next at bat.
And here it's Colmenter who's attacked. He's ahead 0-2. Mentioned that it was critical for Josh Colmenter to get out clean through the 1st and 2nd inning, because historically once he does that, he settles in nicely, and that's been the case this afternoon. Ran into trouble 2 starts ago in Atlanta. Gave up 4 runs on 7 hits in the first 2 innings, and afterwards said it's been a couple of starts where he struggled out of the gate for whatever reason. Things feel a little choppy. Can't quite find a rhythm, and then eventually everything settles in and he sort of smooths things out to a certain point. Able to slow everything down. But that has happened right from the opening bell here this afternoon. 77 pitches, 49 for strikes. Right to Aaron Hill, and it's a 1-2-3-5 on 8 pitches for Josh Colmenter. We'll go to the home half. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Martin Prado, nice hair. Followed by Lando Calrissian Gregorius. And then 3rd in the inning, it's the big Wookiee, Josh Colmenter. Brought to you by Sanderson Ford. It's the Cubs and the Diamondbacks, scoreless in a home half of the fifth on Star Wars Day here at the ballpark. As the D-backs go for a 3-game sweep of the Cubs, but Jake Arrieta has been very good so far. D-backs only 2 hits. Arrieta has 7 strikeouts, and he'll work to Prano, Gregorius, and Colementor. Lower third of the Arizona order here in the fifth. So far in this series, the 5th and the 6th. We'll see what kind of a bat here Martin Prado turns in. Had a tough night last night, 0 for 4, and then chopped at the first pitch he saw in his first at bat. Little tapper right back to the mound for an easy out that ended the second. And so Martin looking for a good at bat here to open up the 5th. And this is a guy that you'd like to see start driving the ball a little more. He's had only 4 extra base hits in his last 26 games, and he's batting 7th here this afternoon. Chops that one to shallow center. Alcantara has it. 1 away.
Martin occasionally will have at bats like the first 2 at bats of this ball game. It looks to me like he's just feeling for the ball. It's not a swing that's really designed to drive the ball into the gaps or maybe over the head of an outfielder. Just kind of, I can put that in play, and unfortunately he does put it in play weakly into shallow center.
Didi Gregorius flying out his first time. So trying to get Martin Prado turned around. He's had a very good month, hitting well over 300 in July. But looking for a slightly higher contact to damage ratio. Ball 1 to Didi. Chris Owings has not played for the D-backs since June 25th. And Didi Gregorius in 12 games over that span, 11 of them starts, has hit over 300. So he's done a nice job. Owings saw a doctor on Friday. He's been shut down for a few days. Chris had been fielding and throwing, just no live batting practice with that injured left shoulder. But he's had some soreness, and they're trying to get him through that. He is already eligible to come off the DL, and they're hoping that shoulder will be a little bit better after some rest.
Well, the worst thing you could possibly do is rush a guy back, and he's favoring that shoulder a little bit, make some changes in his swing. You know, Chris was swinging it pretty good before the injury, and you don't want to mess with what his natural swing was. And also, when you try to protect against one injury, occasionally you'll hurt something else. So they want to make sure he's ready to go before they get him back on the field swinging the bat.
Well, in the meantime, you've got Didi, who has hit over 300 and gotten on base at a 390 clip since CO has been out. And Nick Ahmed has been good. He's had a hit or 2 in each of his last few starts. Nick had his first big league double, in fact, last night. 2-2 to Gregorius. It's full. Center field, Sweeney, back it up, tracks it down. Really well hit by Didi, but it's just allowed out number 2.
Oh, Didi has struck the ball well twice in this ball game. You may remember back leading off the 3rd inning, he drove one to the opposite field, really made a good sound off the bat, as does this one. Sweeney going straight back to the wall in center field, able to run it down just a couple of steps before the wall.
Didi's been squaring him up lately. 2 down for Josh Colementor, who walked his first time up. The only walk that Arrieta has issued has been to the Diamondbacks pitcher. Jake Arrieta from Plano, Texas, pitched at TCU. 5th round pick by the Orioles in 07. Cubs got him last July in a deal that sent Scott Feldman to Baltimore, and he strikes out Comenter for his 8th strikeout this afternoon. Scoreless as we head to the 6th at Chase Field.
Neither guy has flinched. Arrieta's given up a couple of base hits. Josh Comenter 3. This is not the pitch you're looking for. I'm told that's a Star Wars reference. There have been a lot of pitches that the hitters weren't looking for today. Paul Goldschmidt caught looking at a sinker on the outside corner from Arrieta. Josh Comenter pounding that strike zone against Alcantara. This has been one of those good old-fashioned pitcher's duels here today. Josh Comenter up to the task, facing one of the hottest pitchers in the National League.
The C-3PO and R2-D2 of pitchers, if you will.
Ooh, there you go.
These are not the droids you're looking for. I'm gonna make you watch that on a plane or something. Just the original. There's 6 of them, just 1, that's all.
All right, I'll think about it.
That's a no.
I'm thinking about getting more into microbiology.
Well, I can see why.
Yeah.
It's a rising field.
Yeah.
Arizmendi Alcantara. 0 for 2 so far. He struck out his last 10.
Yeah, don't be surprised to see Alcantara show bunt here leading off an inning. He's shown bunt several times in this series so far, has taken the pitch every time. Well, that takes that out of the equation. That's one way to eliminate bunting for a base hit. Jump ahead 0-2 right away.
And Al Prado, who was in on the grass at third, will back off and play even with the bag. Roller to short. Alcantara good speed, but Gregorius throws him out. 5 in a row retired by Josh Comenter.
First baseman Anthony Rizzo.
Fans, Papa John's, Pepsi, and the D-backs teaming up to expand access to sports and inspire Arizona's kids to play ball. Order the Big League Combo with a 2-liter of Pepsi, and Papa John's will donate $1 to the Arizona Diamondbacks Foundation's Play Ball Fund, supporting youth sports across Arizona. Anthony Rizzo. That one is launched to right and gone. Anthony Rizzo, his 23rd of the year, his 3rd in this series, and it's 1-0 Cubs. Well, Rizzo, now 16 of those 23 homers have come against right-hand pitching, and 15 have come on the road.
Well, this guy is just turning into a beast. Absolutely crushes that ball. The only question was fair or foul, but Not much hook on that one. Well inside the foul pole down that right field line. Great extension at contact. No doubt about it.
111 miles an hour off the bat. That on Star Wars Day is a rocket out of here. Rizzo has 5 hits in the series. 3 of them are home runs. And he has now tied Giancarlo Stanton for the National League lead. 1-1 on Starlin Castro. Popped up. Gregorius and Hill behind the bag. It'll be Aaron Hill 2 down. And the question for Josh is here. Still only at 85 pitches, so he's not out of time yet. Can he recover and sort of make that a one blip on the radar? He'll work to Valbuena with 2 outs. Luis Valbuena 0 for 2. He struck out his last time up. So he's up there just 5 for his last 38. There's a strike, 0-1. Another pop up. This one's in front of the second base bag. Didi calling for it. And it's a 9-pitch inning for Josh Comenter, but one of them, Anthony Rizzo's 23rd home run of the year, to make it 1-0 Cubs. CenturyLink, your link to what's next coming up on Star Wars Day. Ender Inciarte, David Peralta, another Jedi, and then it's Han Goldschmidt. The 6th for the Diamondbacks, Ender Inciarte, now trailing the Cubs 1-0, and so far, Ender has done a little bit of everything in this series.
Well, especially with the glove out there in center field, possibly a game-saving catch in the first game of this series. Went high off the wall in center to take extra bases away, and probably a couple of Cub runs. Really playing some sparkling defense in this series, as he has all year.
He is 0 for 2. Here this afternoon, drives that to left center field, and it's off the base of the wall. Inciarte is in at second with a leadoff double, his 5th of the year.
Showing surprising opposite field power right there. That ball was driven over the head of Chris Coughlin out there in left field. He played it nicely off the wall to try to hustle it back in and get Inciarte at second base, but Ender's way too quick for that. Easily in at second.
That swing looked a lot like the ball he hit, Bob, when he had that double to lead off the 5th last night that he scorched to right center field. That one was well hit the other way. And here's David Peralta, who so far against Jake Arrieta has struck out twice. He drives it to left center. Here comes Inciarte, who will score to tie the game. RBI double for David Peralta. Diamondbacks answer immediately. It's 1-1.
If you didn't know any better, you'd say it was a conspiracy. Inciarte and Peralta both picking on the first delivery, driving the ball to the opposite field. Chris Coughlin's got a wind out there chasing those line drives to the gap in left center.
Is this kind of a third time through the order thing, perhaps?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it got a couple pitches. At least the last pitch of Peralta certainly was up and out over the plate, not where he wanted it. Just an example, as we talked about earlier. Take advantage of mistakes. A couple of pitches up in the zone. Balls were hit hard to the opposite field.
Diamondbacks have 4 hits against Jake Arrieta. 3 of them are doubles. Hill, Inciarte, and Peralta. And now the go-ahead run is in scoring position. Still nobody out for Paul Goldschmidt. Goldie 0 for 2. He has struck out twice. Arrieta had been rolling along. He'd retired 4 in a row to end the 5th. 8 strikeouts in the ball game, only 1 walk. But Inciarte and Peralta back-to-back doubles to open up the 6th.
Tried to advance right there, thinking it was just a swing and a miss and a drop ball by John Baker behind the plate, but Goldie did indeed get a piece of it, so that's a foul ball, and he'll have to return to second base. And it's worth a try. Got a hard slider down in the zone.
Stu Sherwater immediately signaling foul ball. 1-1. Second. Alcantara throws him out. Peralta to third. 1 away.
Fans, today USAA would like to pay special recognition to all of our service members at home and abroad. And here at the ballpark today as well.
Miguel Montero 0 for 2 so far. Go ahead running third for the D-backs with 1 out.
Not exactly what he was looking to do, but a productive out nonetheless for Paul Goldschmidt, moving Peralta up to third base with only 1 out in the inning, and now the Cubs will be forced to bring their infield in. Miguel Montero loves it.
He's been a big RBI man for the Diamondbacks. And a chance right here. Mickey has hit safely in 13 of his last 16 games. Miguel Montero well ahead of the major league average in these situations. Two and 0. Miggy 3 hits, 3 RBIs in the series so far. Big night last night. On base 3 times. A walk, the single, the bases clearing double in the 5th. The double he hit last night was his 15th of the year. That passed his doubles total from all of last season. We had him on Diamond Talk, or Snake Talk as it's known on the street, on the radio side after the ball game last night. And Miggy was our guest, and he said the difference this year, confidence. He feels great up there. And he takes a 4-pitch walk. Second walk today issued by Jake Arrieta.
Second baseman,
Going to bring up Aaron Hill with runners at the corners and one out in the inning. And Aaron Hill in 2 at-bats has hit the ball hard both times. A single to right field and a double to left.
You got Peralta, the runner at third, Montero at first. And Arrieta right at 85 pitches, 51 for strikes. Popped him up. See if Rizzo has room near the camera well. And he makes a tremendous catch. And David Peralta tags and scores the go-ahead run. What a heads-up play by David Peralta. And hold on, they're going to send the runners back. Nope, they're not. They're all right. Doug Eddings signaling. Anthony Rizzo somehow held on to that ball, falling deep over the railing and down into that camera well, which is a pretty good drop, flat on his back.
And once he's in that camera well, he's off the field of play. The runners all advance 90 feet. Wow, what a tremendous effort by Rizzo.
Wow.
You can't throw from inside the dugout, so Peralta was going to score anyway, and the runner from first, Miguel Montero, is allowed to advance on to second base.
So it's 2-1 D-backs. It's about the most productive pop out you'll ever see. Par 0 for 2 so far.
It's tough to fight your instincts, but I wonder if he had it to do over again, Anthony Rizzo would let that ball drop.
Yeah.
I mean, you still have to deal with Aaron Hill and runners on the corners, but once you make that catch and tumble off the field of play into the dugout, all runners advance 90 feet, and in this case, the runner from third is able to come home and score.
Doug Eddings, the first base umpire, waving pretty emphatically, pointing that out. And now it's Montero at second, 2 down, and a 2-0 count to Gerardo Parra. This is an all-American effort from Anthony Rizzo.
Last peek at that railing, he realizes he has a shot at it, but he's going to have to completely sell out and give up his body as he flips over that railing. Managed to cushion himself somewhat with his left arm hanging onto the top of the railing, but what a great effort.
We were talking earlier about how he has taken on a leadership role and will do that to an even greater extent in the future, and that play is a great example of exactly why.
It's one thing to say the right things in the clubhouse and speak to the media and say all the right things and be a team leader in that respect, but when you go out there and sell out the way he did to catch that foul pop-up, hit the home run deep into the right field bleachers, you go out on the field, the way you play the game will help your teammates more than anything else.
2-2 is bounced to second. Alcantara has it. And they strand Montero, but the Diamondbacks get 2. They've come back to take a 2-1 lead after 6. relive every historic moment on MLB Whip Around. Weeknights at 7 on Fox Sports 1, streaming live on Fox Sports Go. We go to the 7th now with 2-1 D-backs lead, looking for the sweep. And Josh Colmenter back out there to start the 7th. At 87 pitches, 58 for strikes. He'll work to Sweeney, Scherholz, and Baker. 6, 7, and 8 in the Cubs 7th. And you got the brooms out, sweeping these Cubbies. Although today on Star Wars Day, they're more like Ewoks, I guess. Ryan Sweeney. Ewoks were little furry things in the trees. I get it. Sweeney singled his last time up, 1 for 2. Second, Aaron Hill throws him out, 1 away.
Right fielder, Nathan Scherholz.
Hey fans, we invite you to play Kachinko by signing up at one of the 16 interactive kiosks right here at Chase Field during any Diamondbacks regular season home game.
You borrowed your mask.
You really kind of need the mask to complete the outfit. Doesn't have the same cachet if it's just the hairy body costume.
It's all about accessorizing. 0-1. Anderson Ford bullpen. Oliver Perez, the left-hander. Matt Stites, the right-hander. We saw Oliver Perez close out last night's ball game through 15 pitches. And 2 to Scherholz. Josh Colmenter last time out, 1 run, 7 innings against the Marlins. Looking to equal that right here. Leading 2-1 in the 7th. Paul Goldschmidt knocks it down. Colmenter covers, 2 outs.
Nice backhanded stop by Goldie. An even better feed. Throws it right over the base, just leading Josh Colmenter right where he needed to be.
The catcher John Baker with 2 outs now. Baker's 0 for 2. Baker won the backup catcher's job after coming into the Cubs camp this spring on a minor league contract. Beat out George Guitarist and Eli Whiteside for the job. And he's made 33 starts behind the plate. Had some playing time when Wellington Castillo missed 18 games not too long ago with a ribcage injury. Aaron Hill throws him out. Josh Colmenter has retired the last 5 he's faced. Aaron Hill with a spectacular defensive play there. Kelly Stinnett.
Grinder. He earned that nickname, I'll tell you. One of the best catch and throw guys in the game during his playing days. That surprising pop. Saw you limping out of the batter's box there. I remember that.
Run into one every now and then, you know.
Hey, 14 years in the big leagues. And he is our guest analyst here on Fox Sports Arizona. The cavalcade of stars continues with former D-back great Kelly Stinnett. Great to have you here.
Well, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Well, you're getting a great pitcher's duel. Must like that as a former catcher.
Oh, this is awesome, man. It's great.
Arrieta has been a handful, but the Diamondbacks able to scratch across a couple of runs there and give Coleman the lead.
No, it's you. I mean, that guy's filthy, man. I mean, ball's going everywhere. 94, 93, you know. Tough to hit. They got 2 first pitch fastballs for doubles. That helped last inning.
I think that was a little good planning there. You know, Arrieta had been jumping ahead of the count on everybody, and Inciarte and Peralta both looked like they made up their minds they were going to jump on that first pitch, and both of them were able to go opposite field with authority.
No, it was great. 2 pitches up in the zone. Lefties drive it. You know, no more than you ask for right there.
Well, here we are in the bottom of the 7th. Now, Martin Prado will lead it off for the Diamondbacks with Jake Arrieta back out there at 91 pitches, and Kelly Stinnett here with us. In the bottom of the 7th, trying to pad this lead and get out of here with a sweep of the Cubs before we welcome in the Detroit Tigers and Justin Verlander tomorrow night. Prado so far 0 for 2. Kelly, you been watching a lot of D-backs?
At my indoor place, I put it on the big screen. We'll do some drills, work with some kids, and then we'll watch an inning or 2.
Well, we're trying to get Martin Prado going a little bit here. It's been a little hit and miss this season.
Well, that's kind of how it is for all of us. It's you know, like I said, it's a grind. That's the way you do it.
Diamondbacks Baseball Academy. Don't forget, you can still sign up, dbacks.com. Last week of camps this week. They've got several locations all over the valley and one under the lights at Salt River Fields. I was driving by there the other day and saw that. It's a tremendous setup. So this is the last week of camps at the D-backs Academy. So get involved now if you can at dbacks.com/academy and sign up, and you can work out under the lights. Sweet deal. 2-0 to Prado.
And Kelly, I know you were very involved in youth baseball in the East Valley. You still working with the kids?
Yeah, I mean, we still play. Model teams place in the D-backs academies. They do a great job over there.
I don't know the rules here, but I think they have too many outfielders.
That's quite a few.
That's just a shift. That's all it is. This looks a little funny. Coach Payton coaching them up down there. And you can see it's a popular place here, the Sandlot at Chase Field. You can see Kelly Stinnett on Diamondbacks Live coming up right after the ball game with Cindy Brunson. But this is the last week of camps. D-backs Academy Sign up at dbacks.com and get involved.
Kelly, I would imagine one of the greatest thrills of your career was the opportunity to catch Randy Johnson. I know it wasn't always easy, but on those given days when you could see early on he had his stuff, what was that like behind the plate?
I mean, you know, you just set your glove and he just hit the target. You know, and then that nasty slider you could throw at any time. And to me, it's unfair a lot of times, especially when it's going good. I mean, 99 to 101 on his good days, just mowing him down.
Martin Prado. Contra underneath that one. First out here in the 7th.
Shortstop.
Now we put you on the spot here today, Kelly. It's time for our AT&T fan photo. We've had our guests this week help contribute to the fan photo. And what do you got for us?
Oh, wrong movie. He picked an E.T. picture. It's Star Wars Day. You went with E.T.
Holy cow.
Yeah, it's outer space. It's all kind of related in a very general kind of a way.
Kind of looks like Yoda, right?
Does look
Almost.
like Yoda. Yeah. Phone home, Kelly.
Well, that's the sad thing. I think I still have all my figures from the late 70s in a box somewhere. Yeah.
So you were into Star Wars.
Oh, yeah,
I can't get him to watch anything.
Yeah.
I'm just not a big science fiction
It's all right. You're fine. Watching all those rock and roll documentaries and all the airplanes.
This is old catchers. A lot of foul tips to the mask is what I say.
Way too many foul tips to the mask. Yeah.
Well, we want to thank all the fans who tweeted in their fan photos using the hashtag AZFanPhoto, brought to us by AT&T.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you went to the hockey-style mask and helmet behind the plate very early on, before a lot of guys did.
96, 97 with the Brewers. Charlie O'Brien started it.
Another well-hit ball by Didi Gregorius. And another one to center field, but Sweeney's under it.
I don't know. It just helped me see. I was more comfortable with it, but it did ring your bell pretty good at times when you take a foul tip.
Yeah, we're told they've kind of modified the padding on those hockey-style masks for the catchers now to give them a little more cushion. There was some question as to whether maybe they were leading the way to some of the concussion injuries that catchers were suffering behind the plate. So they padded them up a little differently, a little more securely now.
Yeah, they're more like a high-tech football helmet now. I still got my first one. Looked like a 1901 football helmet inside.
Mark Trumbo will hit for the pitcher. He's got a pair of hits and had an RBI in this series. Hit the ball very hard 3 times last night. Nothing to show for it. Finally got a break with an RBI single in the 6th. And Mark is 3 for 18 since he's come back from the foot injury. Ken, we still haven't had a chance to watch all the pieces. All these guys play together at once with A.J. Pollock, Mark Trumbo, on and all the injuries, and kind of getting them back piece by piece at this point.
Well, hopefully we'll get back soon and make a serious run here at the end.
So you can see if you factor in everybody and get them all in there healthy playing at the same time, it's a pretty good looking lineup.
No, it is definitely.
The bullpen is set to go here. With Arrieta now at 103 pitches, 62 for strikes. 3-1. What's the best part for you about playing in this ballpark?
You know you're going to play every day. There's no rain delay.
2-out walk to Trumbo. Well, Josh Colmenter leads at 2-1 now, and his night is over after being pinch hit for. 1 run on 4 hits and 7. And now Jake Arrieta's day will end here as well. Rick Renteria to the mound. Arrieta leaves, responsible for 1 base runner. He trails at 2-1. Back after this. Arrieta comes out of the ball game. He has been brilliant over his last 8 starts, unbeaten with a 1.36 ERA. He was very good again today, but right now he's on the hook for the loss.
He'll give way to left-hander James Russell, who pitched on Friday night, came in to face one batter, Miguel Montero. You remember Miggy bunted against the shift for a base hit, the only guy that Russell faced in that game. Miggy later came around to score.
On the left-hander with Inciarte and Peralta due up is on for the Cubs. And Ender Inciarte got things started in the 6th inning with a leadoff double against Arrieta. And he came in to score the tying run. Mark Trumbo, the runner at first, 2 outs. Would you like to have played with replay?
I don't know. I mean, it may have. No, honestly, no. Once you think about it, no. Keep the game going. Trust the guys.
Mark Trumbo. Now it's second.
I think we're going to see one.
Yeah, we are.
I had a feeling. Here comes Kirk Gibson. Corey Blazer says Trumbo is out. He appeared to beat the throw from here anyway, easily. And he will check with Mark first.
Occasionally, you'll see the runner pop off the bag after he gets in safely. Looked like he had the right foot back on the base as the left one came off. Getting a little different angle this time.
And they will review. The Diamondbacks will challenge the call. Yeah, the one foot is on as the other comes off. So Alan Campbell, the Diamondback video coordinator, has seen that, and now Jim Joyce, the crew chief, will come over from third. And he and Corey Blazer will put on the headsets.
The call on the field.
Mark Trumbo caught everybody by surprise there. A guy coming off a broken foot, just recently off the disabled list. You assume he's not going anywhere. He got himself a great jump and stole that base, it appeared.
Well, it seems like the Cubs knew something because they threw a little step-off move early, so maybe they had to fill in.
And the Diamondback fans have seen the replay on the DBTV board. You know how they'd rule it, and this is going to be critical run potentially here for the Diamondbacks. In the 7th inning, a chance to get a pad run into scoring position with 2 outs.
It looked like with that little bit of footwork there, he managed to get the right foot on the base before the left one came off. And Castro, to his credit, kept the tag high on the shoulder of Mark Trumbo just in case he did come off the bag. But it really appeared to me like Mark was in contact with the base the entire time.
It does seem like the kind of play where you have to check a number of different angles to make sure that you've got all angles covered, and that's what they're doing in New York apparently. And now the word of Jim Joyce from Major League Baseball Advanced Media Headquarters. They're talking to other umpires on the other end of these headsets. Corey Blazer has managed to have a pretty eventful series. He was the guy that ejected Martin Prado and Kirk Gibson when he had the plate on Friday. And Mark Trumbo is safe at second. Diamondbacks win the challenge. They have now been successful this year 11 times out of 20 challenges. And on calls, Kelly, for a guy that doesn't like replay, on calls challenged by managers, almost 48% have been overturned. That's a tremendous success rate.
That is a good number, but it helps when you have a guy up in the video box, too, kind of helping out.
Check swing, tough play at third. Valbuena, Inciarte beats it out. Little excuse me, check swing. Trumbo moves up, and Ender is aboard at first. And if this is a close play, we'll go through this process again.
Valbuena had to take a couple of extra steps to find the handle on the ball that time. And with Inciarte's speed, any delay, and he's going to be safe at first base.
That's Ender's second hit tonight. He's 2 for 4 now. A hot smash to third.
They all count. You got a lot of those infield hits, didn't you? Grinder?
Always. Yeah, every game.
Oh, you were quick up the line. David Peralta, an RBI double his last time up. So they go to Russell here to work to the left-handers, Inciarte and Peralta.
It's been a rough day back there for John Baker. He's just been getting beat up. First of all, Arrieta, with all that late movement he had, he was having trouble squaring the ball up in the glove, and now James Russell comes in the game bouncing breaking balls in the dirt.
Yeah, that's tough. He's boxed a few, huh?
Yes, he has.
Neil Ramirez, the right-hander, is up for the Cubs. Should Peralta reach 1-1. So he would inherit Paul Goldschmidt. Brad Ziegler would get the 8th. Nope. Jim Joyce down at third.
You always ask as a catcher, even if you know it's not close.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt, right?
Yeah, it can't hurt anything.
What happens when Joe West tells you he didn't need help?
You shut up, get back down your squat. Get ready for the next pitch.
Two on, two out, 2 balls and a strike to David Peralta. Line to right, base hit. Trumbo scores, 3-1 Diamondbacks, and it's another multi-hit game for David Peralta. He's played 38 games in the major leagues. He's got 17 multi-hit games.
Hangs in there against a tough lefty. Lets that breaking ball get deep into zone. You see him pumping his fist as he runs down that first base line. A little soft liner into right field to plate Mark Trumbo.
Little devil's advocate for you here, Kelly. There's no replay. That inning's over. The run doesn't score. They get the call right. They overturn it. It leads to a D-backs run. Have I converted you yet?
Very good point.
Not yet. No.
Not yet.
They'll bring the right-hander Ramirez in to face Goldie back after this. 3-1 lead over the Cubs here in the 7th. The left-hander Russell brought on to face Inciarte and Peralta, 2 left-hand hitters, both singled to make it a 2-run Diamondback lead. And now the right-hander Neil Ramirez is on. He inherits Paul Goldschmidt with 2 on and 2 out.
And the Cubs have a pitcher spot due up leading off in the 8th inning, so this probably is just a one-hitter appearance for Neil Ramirez if he gets his guy.
Ender Inciarte is the runner at second for the D-backs. David Peralta at first. And here's Goldie so far 0 for 3. He has struck out twice. Diamondbacks trying to sweep the Cubs. They have come from behind to take the lead in all 3 games. Trying to use the force here on Star Wars Day at Chase Field. That's out of play. Anybody that Kelly Goldie reminds you of from your playing days?
He's got a short, compact swing. I mean, nobody really held a bat like that. A little guy, Brett Boone, back in the day, but nobody really had the bat down. But he gets it up in plenty of time to get that bat hit at the baseball, that's for sure.
Yeah, at 6'3", 245, he's fairly imposing, I imagine.
Yeah, that helps a lot.
He's down 0-2.
Watch out.
97 inside.
You know, I've tried to think of guys back in my playing career that would be comparable, but it's so hard to find a slugging first baseman that puts up MVP caliber offensive numbers, that plays Gold Glove defense and runs the bases the way he does. Yeah, I mean, Rizzo obviously a tremendously talented offensive player, a very good defender, but he can't run the bases with Goldie.
No, not at all.
1-2. It bounces over Baker's head and rolls to the backstop. Inciarte and Peralta move up. And now a base hit, anything through the infield. Good chance to score 2. That's got to be a helpless feeling.
There's nothing you can do on that one.
Those breaking balls that hit that far out in front of home plate. I said it before, there's no such thing as a bad block. If you stop the ball, it's good, but boy, that tough duty there for John Baker, not only on that last pitch, but all afternoon.
2 on, 2 out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here it is. Goldie has been the complete package, leading the majors in doubles. Tied for the league lead in RBIs, 6th in hitting, 2nd in walks and slugging, 3rd in on base and OPS. Another one bounces. Baker able to keep this one in front, and it's full 3-2.
It's not very often you see teams go after Goldie with a base open. Of course, they created the open base with the wild pitch, but Renteria's got 3 lefties in the bullpen. He's already used James Russell. He's got Wesley Wright and Zach Loscup available down there. You have to think about maybe walking Goldie and bringing in a lefty for Miguel Montero, but nobody warming in the Cubs bullpen.
Crickets down there for the Cubs.
Now, in his defense, you know, he's managing a rebuilding system, and maybe they want to see what Ramirez can do in a stress-filled situation. They're trying to look not only at this year and this game, but look to the future for the Cubs organization, and maybe they want to see what this young man can do when his back's up against the wall.
And once again, Goldie has gone from 0-2 in the count to 3-2. Drives it to center. Sweeney. Wow. Ryan Sweeney saves 2 runs and keeps it a 3-1 ball game. Kelly Stinnett, thanks. We'll see you on Diamondback Live after the ball game.
Thanks, guys.
Gila River game summary. Josh Colmenter outstanding for the Diamondbacks. Gave up just a run on 4 hits in 7 innings of work. Retired the last 5 he faced, and now he will hand it over to the bullpen on Star Wars Day here at Chase Field. Brad Ziegler on to work the 8th. Justin Ruggiano with a pitcher spot leading off the inning will hit for the Cubs. Saw Brad Ziegler on Friday night in this series. Worked 1 inning through 14 pitches. His 51st appearance of the year. Ruggiano 1 for 7 in the series. He singled and scored a run last night. 286 on the year. This is a guy that over his last 19 games is hitting better than .370 with 12 RBIs. He bounces that one to second. Easy play for Aaron Hill. What do you know? A ground ball out for Ziegler. 1 down.
What a shock. Brad Ziegler, the workhorse of the National League. Most appearances this season, most appearances last season, most appearances since the beginning of the 2012 season. You'll always see a couple of Rocky relievers near the top of that list. Just because it's Coors Field. You use a lot of relief pitchers at Coors.
Just attrition. Chris Coghlan doubled in the 3rd, 1 for 3. Laces this one to right center field. And Ciarte races over to cut it off, and he'll make it close, but Coghlan is in there with his 13th double of the season and his 2nd here today.
Second baseman, Arismendi Alcantara.
It's unusual to see a ball squared up against Brad Ziegler, but Coghlan got the barrel on that one. Looked like it was going to roll all the way to the wall, but Ciarte cuts it off and makes it a relatively close play at second base. What should have been an easy stand-up double.
Arismendi Alcantara 0 for 3. He does not have a hit in this series. This is there. Ziegler behind 2-0. There is action finally in the Cub bullpen. Wright and Stroper up and thrown. Or as the late great Jerry Coleman once said, they are throwing up in the bullpen. 2-0 to Alcantara. 3 balls and no strikes. Keep in mind you've got Anthony Rizzo on deck. Base hit. Coghlan had to hold up. It gets by Peralta out there, and he will score to make it a 3-2 ball game. And Arismendi Alcantara has his first hit in this series, his 4th double this year.
The ball was hit extremely hard. Just up a little bit out over the plate. Peralta took a little bit of a shallow line over to the gap in left center, and because of that, it got behind him. Alcantara was able to advance on to second base with Anthony Rizzo making his way to the plate.
Diamondbacks back-to-back doubles in the 6th to deliver 2 runs, and now the Cubs have back-to-back 1-out doubles here in the 8th. And now Rizzo is up. Last time he was up in the 6th, he did this. Anthony Rizzo, 5 hits in the series, 3 of them are home runs.
I'll tell you, for me, I go ahead and walk him here. Even though it violates one of the cardinal rules of baseball, you don't walk the potential go-ahead run intentionally. I would much prefer my chances with Starlin Castro at the plate, 1 out in the inning. He's grounded into 11 double plays this year. And we know Brad Ziegler likes to throw that ground ball. I just take the bat out of this guy's hand.
I'm with you. That one just missed. If it's a fair ball, the game is tied right there.
I mean, Brad Ziegler, throughout his career, he's a double play machine. There's no other way to explain it. Since 2008, he's induced the opposition to ground into 87 double plays. The next closest pitcher has had 64.
Very good speed at second in Alcantara. Here's the 1-1.
And part of it could be the confidence that Kirk Gibson has in Brad Ziegler. Brad certainly understands the situation here. He knows the score of the ball game and who's in the on-deck circle and what the situation calls for. And the mere fact that they're allowing him to pitch to Rizzo should be an alarm that I'm not going to give him anything good to hit. He's going to have to go way out of the strike zone to get the barrel of the bat on the ball. I just don't like the idea of possibly making a mistake. I mean, Brad doesn't make a lot of mistakes, especially balls up in the zone that can really get hit hard. But I don't even want to give him the chance to make a mistake.
Right to Goldie. Alcantara to third, 2 down.
All right.
And now they will work to Castro with a tying run at third and 2 outs. Starlin Castro 0 for 2 with a walk today. He had a pair of singles and an RBI last night. Those are his only hits of the series so far. Swing and a miss. Sixteen pitches so far for Brad. 8 balls, 8 strikes. In the air, left center field. Ender and Ciarte racing over. And they strand the runner at third. It's still Diamondbacks lead, but it's a 3-2 ball game as we head to the bottom of the 8th to Chase. eighth inning. Fans go back in time for 80s night here at Chase Field. Friday, August 8th. Come early. Listen to Rock Lobster on the Plaza. After the game between the Diamondbacks and Rockies, you'll enjoy fireworks set to classic 80s hits. Purchase a special 80s night ticket package, and you get a pair of those crazy Zubaz pants. Zubaz? Visit dbacks.com/events. Holy moly.
Yeah.
Pedro Strop can get a little wild from time to time. 35 strikeouts in just under 32 innings, but also 17 walks in that span. Miguel Montero leads off the 8th.
Two-pitch guy, fastball slider. Average fastball sits in the mid-90s. And as you said, he can lose that zone with the best of them. I think it's because his hat's on sideways.
Well, Fernando Rodney says, of course, he has mastered the genre there with a crooked hat. He says that he thinks it distracts the hitter.
Okay.
That's just, so there's some strategy there. It's not just a fashion statement, apparently. Cubs once again into the defensive overshift with Miguel Montero up there. You've got Castro all by himself over there at shortstop.
And I mean, now they're just giving the bunt to Miguel Montero. Castro backs way up on the edge of the outfield grass.
And he's ahead 2-0.
Yeah, at his shortstop position. I think as the count worked into Miggy's favor, they figure there's no way he's going to bunt in a good fastball count. He's going to look to drive that ball into the gap or out of the ballpark, and he did take a power swing that time.
Makes another one, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, that's the slider from Strop at 84. Good downward movement.
Miggy 0 for 2 with a walk today. He's hit in 13 of his last 16. It's full. Strop having some issues up there. Zubaz. You going to wear those for 80s night?
Sure. It's like pajamas.
Did you wear those on the planes back in the day? Probably not. No. Baker completes the strikeout. One away.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 6 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Aaron Hill 2 for 3, a single and a double. He's hit in 5 straight games. Cubs now go back to their normal defensive setting. Cubs got a lot of guys back there in that bullpen that throw hard. We've seen that all series long. Upper 90s. Nope. So Gettings down there. Notice Aaron Hill on the DBTV scoreboard here did not get the Star Wars character treatment. Or they've just kind of filtered those away, put the standard pictures up. Two and two. If you want to get a look at all the Diamondback Star Wars photos that were shown on the big board here today, you can look at all of them at foxsportsarizona.com. Check them out. Didi Gregorius looking like Lando Calrissian.
Just like him.
Miggy the Ewok. They're all up there. Swing and a miss. Another strikeout for Strop. It's an interesting call here for the ninth inning. They've got Valbuena, Sweeney, and Scherholz all scheduled. And that's 3 left-hand hitters. Oliver Perez had been throwing earlier. And Addison Reed looks ready.
Well, it really comes down to a question of, do you like Oliver Perez against the right-handed bats on the Cubs bench, which is certainly what you would see if Perez was in the game, or do you like Addison Reed, the closer, on the lefties?
That's something you talked about at the beginning of the ball game. As Power shoots this one into left, Coglin's there. And that's the inning. Diamondbacks going for the sweep. Addison Reed coming on with a 3-2 lead in the ninth. Diamondbacks going for a sweep of the Cubs. Tigers in here starting tomorrow. We'll have the first 2 games for you on Fox Sports Arizona. Justin Verlander versus Vidal Nuno tomorrow night. And Chase Anderson and Rick Porcello. Trevor Cahill and Anibal Sanchez Wednesday afternoon. Don't forget, radio only, so you get matinee ticket pricing for that ball game at dbacks.com/tickets. Addison Reed is on for the second time in this series. He got his 22nd save of the year on Friday night. He issued 1 walk in that inning, but other than that, came away relatively unscathed. And he'll face 3 left-hand hitters scheduled for the Cubs. Valbuena, Sweeney, and Scherholz 5, 6, and 7 in the Chicago ninth. Luis Valbuena 0 for 3. Addison Reed, when he came on to get that 22nd save on Friday, opened the ninth by facing Luis Valbuena, who hit the ball hard, but right at the right fielder, Gerardo Parra. Oh, 0-2. Valbuena up there, 5 for his last 39. called. Strike 3. Stu Sherwater rings him up. 1 away.
Buena thought it was low. Miguel Montero kind of dipped the glove and then pulled it back up toward the strike zone. They do get the strike call because the pitch was right there at the bottom of the knees.
It's amazing how fine that line is in terms of command and location with Addison Reed in that fastball. Ryan Sweeney, when he's made those mistakes, it's been a fastball that was up just a hair from where that one was. He broke his bat. Easy playing for Inciarte. 2 down. Nate Sherholz, last man standing for the Cubs. Sherholz 0 for 3 and 2 for his last 25. D-backs swept the Cubs in 3 games here at Chase back in June of 2012. Now they're 1 out away. Diamondback live. Cindy Brunson, Kelly Stinnett follows the ball game. Cubs have won just 2 of their last 12. This would be their 5th straight loss. A ball and a strike to Sherholz. Another big crowd here at Chase Field. 37,000 plus on Star Wars Day. And they're here with their brooms to look at a Diamondback sweep, and now they're a strike away. Center field, Ender Inciarte has room. And the D-backs have their first home sweep of the season. Addison Reed works a 1-2-3 ninth. He gets his 23rd save, and the Diamondbacks sweep the Cubs.
Good series all the way around. A lot of positives to take away from this 3-game set against the Cubs. The offense came to life. Addison Reed comes in to close it out here today through 10 pitches, 8 of them for strikes.
3-6-0 for the D-backs, 2-6-0 for the Cubbies as the D-backs get their first sweep of the season here at Chase Field. And for just the second time in club history, they have won the first 3 games after the All-Star break. The first time was back in 2002. So it's a D-back sweep. Let's send it over to center field and start Diamondbacks Live. Kelly Stinnett is with Cindy Brunson.
Thanks so much, guys. And I'm going to give full credit to Fox Sports Arizona coming up with the idea to have a guest analyst, because the mojo continues as the D-backs celebrate another win. You know Grinder, Kelly Stinnett. Kelly, what impressed you most about today?
Well-pitched ball game. Took advantage of, we finally got guys in scoring position. We drove them in.
Amen to that. It is a sweep for the Diamondbacks for the first time here at Chase Field this season as they start the run out of the All-Star break on the right foot. We will hear from a bunch of players, including our skipper, Kirk Gibson. Reaction and analysis ahead on D-backs Live.